The Denver Broncos are 9-2, atop the AFC, right? One of the best teams in the AFC, have one of the best records in the entire NFL. I believe tied for the best, right? Sitting at 9-2. The question is this: are they true Super Bowl contenders, or is this a pretender?
So I've wanted to call them a pretender and have for quite some time. And I did some research today and I did some due diligence in looking at what is making them so effective this year, right? And when you talk about their offensive efficiency, especially in the fourth quarter, how Bo Nix has been playing in crucial moments, the defense and how the defense has been playing. They also have one of the best kickers in the NFL. He's 25 of 27. So, and on top of that, you have Sean, who is a great coach, is good in game, great situationally. This is a team that has all the makings of what it means to be a Super Bowl team. Because the reality is, if you look throughout
So you're
history,
going contender.
I'm going contender. I'm going contender.
Okay.
I wanted to call them a pretender, but I'll tell you what, you don't need a quarterback to be a superstar to win a Super Bowl. There are plenty of examples of this. You need a game manager, you need a guy who's not going to turn over the football, and you need a guy who's got juice in moments. And Bo Nix has got juice in moments. When they needed him, he's shown up. And he doesn't need to be perfect because the defense is elite, the special teams is elite, and the coaching is elite. So that takes you a certain, and he has shown up big in big moments. Now, do I think they're the favorite to win? No, I don't, because if they were playing the Rams, a lot of the teams in the NFC, but the AFC is struggling right now as a whole, as a conference, and they've created a big gap between them and everybody else. And I'm going to tell you something else. Denver, in the middle of the winter time, ain't nobody want to go there. Nobody want to go play that team in the altitude, and if they have home field advantage, playing in the altitude is a massive advantage for them. Massive advantage. And playing outside for everybody else, they're used to that. They know how to handle it. So I've held off as long as I can. I got to call them a contender. I've tried, and I found too much research today to prove that they are a contender to tell me otherwise.
I'm going to go pretender. I think the Denver Broncos are a pretender, and I'm going to go this. They've won 6 games by 3 points or less. And within those 6 games, they've beaten teams like the Jets, Giants, Raiders, and Texans by 3 points or less, right? And that's that's the bottom of the NFL, right? You're supposed to steamroll those teams. I'm just not buying what I'm seeing. When you talk about the eye test, right? It's a lot of skating by. And if I had to compare them to a team from last year, right, when we talked about the law of averages, this appears to be on track of what we've seen from the Washington Commanders last year, right, to where they were winning those games that if you just split them down the middle, you're talking about a slightly above average football team. And I look at the offense because the defense is spectacular, right? But the offensive in every statistical category, right, they're average. I think yards per game, just all of the different statistics, passing yards per game, they're average. They're right in the middle, somewhere between 19th and 25th, right? That's not going to cut it, in my opinion. What's keeping them afloat is this defense is so damn good, right? I think they're first in sacks. They play dominant. They play with their hair on fire. They can force turnovers. They have all-star, Pro Bowl, all pro caliber players. So I see why they're winning games. But when you get into the games, when you talk about the Indianapolis Colts potentially, right, and you have to have a shootout, I don't know if this offense is going to keep up. And I'm not sure if this defense can hold a team like the Colts to under 20 points.
The only reason why I disagree with you is because the difference between the Commanders and this team is going to be home field advantage, number one top seed in the AFC as of right now, and the defense. The Commanders did not have anywhere near what this defense is. And so when you have defense that plays elite in January, you can win football games. Because you don't have to, the shootouts are not happening in January in Denver when it's snowing and 20 degrees. That's why I believe in this football team, is because not only that, plus the altitude. I know it's a massive difference. I was a champion figure skater, and I had to go a week and a half early to prepare breathing-wise to go compete in Colorado. It's a totally different ballgame. Like, it's like how Miami is in South Beach in September when it's hot and all the team Buffalo's dying on the sideline. That's what it's like for everybody to go to Denver, but all year round. Because the air is way, way, way thinner. So I get the reference, and the close games are the thing that for me has been the reason why not to buy in. But this defense is so elite, and the coaching is so good, and the special teams is so good, and the average offense, if you're average and everything else is elite, you can win. And that's what I'm banking on.
If I have a question, and this is why I'll go with this, because the other team that has a really good defense, a dominant defense, and we're a fan of their defense, and very average, lackluster offense, It's the Houston
Eagles.
Texans.
Okay.
And I think if they play each other, it'll be a toss-up, right? And that's why I go to the games won by 3 points or less, because if you take a couple of those games away and put them in a loss category, then we're probably putting the Broncos in the same bracket with the
So,
Houston Texans,
yeah.
right?
So
So
I'll tell you, to me, what the difference is. One, you've got CJ
mhm,
Stroud out, and CJ Stroud has not. Bo Nix has been better than CJ Stroud this year.
yeah,
And in bigger and clutch in moments. The other thing is too, again, the home field advantage and the defense. As good as the Texans are, they are a very aggressive team that takes a lot of penalties because of it. And
mhm,
I love their defense. That is exactly how I love watching defense be played. But because the injury to CJ Stroud, the concussion, he's been out for a couple weeks. We don't know what that's going to look like. And when he has been in, Bo has been average. CJ Stroud's
yeah,
been below average. And
yeah,
if Bo Nix takes a step backwards, yeah, this team's going to fall apart. But if he continues to play like he outplayed Mahomes in that game. And that's the thing where in a crucial moment, Mahomes threw a pick. In a crucial moment, Bo Nix drove his team down the field. And I think that's the difference here with this team is, as much as I've wanted to not buy into it, if this defense is going to continue to play this way, and there's no signs that tell us that they're not going to, Bo Nix just has to be a hitch, right? What you call him. Not a trailer, he needs to be a hitch. He's not responsible to carry this team. This defense is going to carry this team. The special teams is going to be elite. The home field advantage and the coaching are elite, and that is average. And when everything else is good, the situation's really good for Bo. I mean, Bo Nix is in one of the best spots for a young quarterback, and he's playing good football. He's not playing great football. He's playing good football, and he's showing up in clutch moments.
yeah. I just and I agree with you on every point you made. I just don't know if I trust those
Yeah,
Broncos
he
right
doesn't
now, right?
pass the eye
I
test.
just
I get it. I understand. I'm just tired of saying it doesn't pass the eye test because there's too many wins and they beat the Chiefs. I told myself this week, if they beat the Chiefs, I got to really deep dive and understand why this team's winning football games. And I did. And there's statistically every category they're elite at, with the exception of offense, and they are average. And that if they continue that, it's November, December, January. That's the time where you can pull that off. It's the
yeah,
weather changes. We're not scoring 40. You're winning games. And I look at the Eagles, it's the same thing. The Eagles are not offensively doing anything that makes them a juggernaut. They're playing elite defense. They've got good special teams. I wouldn't even say they got good coaching. They below average coaching in some situations with Nick Sirianni. So that's I gotta, if I'm gonna give them credit, I gotta kind of give the Broncos a little credit too.
yeah. Well, there's three phases of the football, right? For the Denver Broncos: offense, defense, special teams. They're hitting on two of them:
Yep,
defense and special
2/3.
teams, and we'll see how far it carries them.